Welcome to the Aftercast here on the Wally Show, and this has been an Aftercast 4 days in the making that feels like 4 years in the making. I don't know why. This week was crazy long.
Yeah, 100%.
I think because we came off of a short week, and every time that happens, like your next week is really long, and just all this stuff was
And then we had
taking time.
Chaos of, you've been here all week.
Yeah.
Props to you. Good job.
That's why it feels long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were gone. Benny was gone for 2 days. You were gone for a day. Oh, that's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys feel like it was a long week? Because I sure as heck did.
I totally agree. I'm excited for this week to be done.
But it is weekend plans coming up today, which is great. And we do, just forewarning, Betty and I are out next week because we have a work thing. And so we'll not have new Aftercast next week, but the following Monday we will be back with regular things. I found this story that I was like, okay, there's something going on. There's a guy in Houston, and he is seeking monetary relief to the tune of $250,000 after he says he suffered serious personal injuries, claiming an allergic reaction when he bought a burger at Whataburger and they had onions on it, and he asked for no onions. And in the regular podcast, we had talked earlier about a lady that got on a plane and had a list of things that she could not be exposed to, like the smell of coffee. And you're like, okay, well, that's craziness. But this guy here, he claims he's highly allergic to the onions, which, okay, fine, that definitely could happen. But he's suing them for $250,000 because he said he ate a burger and had onions on it, and then he had to go seek medical attention. It never even says he went to the hospital. It just says he had to seek medical attention, which instantly I'm like, this guy's just looking for a payday.
Could have gone to TikTok and seen, like, am I allergic, getting diagnosed.
Well, the thing about it is, if you honestly have a severe allergic reaction to things, if you've ever met people like that, they are militant. They are vigilant about what they come in contact with because they know how serious it can be. Mm-hmm. And so, like, my daughter has a friend, and she's very much like that. And so when they go out to eat or something like that, she has to bring, like, her own food, But she knows that, or she knows if she ate something, like, she would ask at great length, what was in it so that she wouldn't get sick. Mm-hmm. So this guy, for him, if you are that allergic, all you have to do is when you get your hamburger, you open it up and you go, oh, there's onions on it. Hey, I'm allergic to onions. Can you guys remake this? Yes, we can. Sorry about that, sir. And you're done. Mm-hmm. But so if you're that allergic, why would you not check your thing, your hamburger before you ate every time?
Maybe because they verbally told you that it didn't have onions.
Doesn't matter, though. If you are that allergic that it's going to put you in a hospital, then you should always check.
But what about the people that didn't do their job right?
100%. That happens. You're going to fast food, man. Like, let's be honest. Like, things aren't going to happen right there.
Minimum wage guy behind the counter.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Where was this attitude at the barbecue joint?
What do you mean this attitude? That guy was a nut job.
Oh, that guy was a nut job?
That guy was a nut job.
This guy you're talking about.
Yeah, if I could have sued that guy for emotional distress, I would have. I thought I'd get laughed out of court.
Onions, barbecue.
No, it's not even close to the same thing. But then, okay, so you're going to be on my side now because it turns out he went to Sonic and got a hamburger and then it had onions on it. Miraculously, this guy keeps getting onions on his burger. Because I guarantee you he's ordering it and not saying, don't give me onions. And then they'll be like, hey, it has you got onions on there. Well, I said no onions. No, you didn't. No, I did. And he sues him for $250,000 to $1 million, knowing he's going to settle it because they won't want the time that it takes for $20,000, $40,000, $50,000, And he walks out of there with a payday for something that he should not be getting paid for. It's insane. But again, like people with allergies, they are going to check that stuff for real. This other thing was a trend going around. You know how they do trends on TikTok where like the wife will film the partner doing something? Like the one that I loved was where the mom and the kids were in on it together and they'd set up a camera and they would have the kids like back talk the mom and just watch the dad go from 0 to 100. And I love those because I'm like, yeah, we need more dads that are like, you do not talk to your mom like that. And they take up for her. And like the mom, it's funny because a couple of these dads, they came at it hard. And the mom's like, no, it's a joke, it's a joke. Or the kid's like, it's a joke, it's a joke. Well, there's a new one going around where the wife will tell her husband to call up his best friends
love this one.
and then tell them good night, like before they go to bed. Like, hey man, just calling to catch up with you. Have a good night. Sleep tight.
I haven't seen those.
It's super weird, man.
And it's just guys too.
Yeah.
Like it would be me calling Wally to say goodnight.
Yeah, and the reaction is always on the other end, like, okay, cool, that's weird, like it's because who would, like, as guys, no guys would
I think
actually
that's
do that.
I
sad.
think I'm gonna do it tonight.
Yeah, like the one guy, there's one that they said where the guy calls and he says, hey, well, have a good night. And he's like, say that one more time. Repeat what you just said. And he's like, have a good night. He's like, what's wrong with you, man? But by the end of the video, they're kind of laughing and stuff. But while the trend is seen as a joke, it can also serve as a reminder, they're saying, about the importance of men reevaluating what the ideas of actual manliness and masculinity are.
Because I saw a trend at one point too, where this guy would challenge guys to call their best friends and tell them that he loved them. Which is a thing that's here and there in terms of like, is that within your vernacular? If you called up, have you ever told Greg that you love him?
Oh, I'm like, yeah, I love you, man. Like, especially, but it was like there was hard things going on. Yeah. Not just at random.
You don't think just out of the blue call your best friend, hey man, I just want to let you know I love you.
No. There was when things were going on, like for him in his life. Or sometimes like if there's been a moment where like, man, I love you, thank you, or whatever. Yeah. Like if it helped me with something or whatever. Mm-hmm. I talked to Walter last night from Walter Picks the Hits. Haven't talked to Walter in a while, but Walter's great. He's like, hey, Walter. And so, Walter, how you doing, man? I'm good. How you doing? I'm like, good. And so we talk for a while, but then I always love it because my wife sits there and listens, and he's like, okay, Wally, love you, bye. And I love Walter just because, like, yeah, he's not bound by any of that stuff. He's just like, love you, bye. And he's just kind, Mm-hmm. And so that's a good one. Lady Rock, it's Friday. We're kind of on a Fastercast scale here today. What do you got?
There is new drama between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively.
Delightful.
You were so into the
and I still
Lively.
am. So it all happened on the set of the film that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni starred in together. It's called It Ends With Us. And on the set, Blake is now claiming that there was harassment done by Justin towards her. And so she is suing him. Then Justin gets wind of that and he countersues her for defamation, saying that none of that happened, and we're finding out through different avenues that everything that Blake Lively is clinging to as evidence towards the harassment that Justin was showing her is actually false and taken out of context.
And it's easier for her to destroy his career. Because in Hollywood, with Me Too movements, which were justified, and horrible, but when a woman says, oh, this man is harassing me or he made advances to me, he's instantly guilty, and so she could undo him very quickly. Whereas if she was an aggressor in a situation like that, people would not Blake Lively. Are you kidding me? And so it's interesting to see the back and forth, and they're both kind of losing now, though,
Justin?
Yeah, they both are. He's doing better in the legal sense of it, but they both lost something in this because it got into public opinion and it got tried in the court of public opinion, and it's been affecting both.
I think Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have lost way more than Justin Baldoni has. But another person that's being dragged into this lawsuit is Taylor Swift, because she was best friends with Blake Lively, and she was even the godmother of her 4 kids, hers and Ryan's. And now there is some sources that are claiming that Taylor Swift got subpoenaed by Blake Lively's lawyer.
Because they did that to another assistant, and they did something unscrupulous that borders on illegal, too, to get her phone and get text messages from her. So they're not above playing dirty in this.
So the what they want is Blake wanted Taylor Swift to come out publicly with something that supports a statement that supports Blake Lively. And I guess Taylor Swift is trying to separate herself from the lawsuit and keep her friendship with Blake Lively. However, because she didn't put out a statement that was positive towards Blake Lively, I guess Lively saw that as an offense. And there are text messages, supposedly, that Blake sent a text to Taylor and said, hey, if you don't publicly support me, I'm going to release 10 years worth of text messages between the two of us.
Oof, that's blackmail.
It is blackmail. And Taylor Swift doesn't want that to happen because she has a certain image that she has created, and it's this image of like good, not
wholesome, sweet.
And
no drama.
There's a lot of people that make a living off of what she does, and so she's trying to separate herself from this because if those text messages are leaked between her and Blake, that was a trusted source.
Right.
She thought a trusted friend. So I'm sure that there are some things, some text messages that she doesn't want the general public to read because then it'll be taken out of context and it'll ruin her image. So there are some sources that are claiming that there is someone very close to Taylor Swift who knows some dirt on Blake Lively. And the dirt supposedly is that Blake sent a text to Taylor asking her to delete certain text messages and ask for this public support. And if that got leaked, then it would make Blake look guilty and ultimately lose this whole lawsuit.
Right.
Like they wouldn't even need to go to court for that. Now, I've heard that close source to Taylor is actually her dad. That her dad has seen text messages between his daughter and Blake and is not going to stand for Blake Lively holding blackmail on Taylor Swift.
You don't mess with my meal train.
And saying
daughter.
And saying like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me type thing is what Blake Lively is coming across as.
Because I'm sure there are text messages between the two of them where she's rallying around her friend and she's saying things that probably aren't kind and maybe even like slanderous or whatever. Because you're just having what you had said, a trusted conversation.
Yeah.
And so, if those got out, it would be bad for Taylor for sure.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We don't know anything. This is all speculation, but we do know that
it got pulled.
We do know that Taylor's subpoena was pulled.
Yeah.
So there must be some truth to this.
So somebody was like, okay. And then you're wondering if they were like bluffing a little bit to see if they could get it.
Right.
And then when they did, because there's no way that that's anything other than blackmail. You know, like I don't know how you would do that.
And I honestly, too, I don't know how Taylor Swift could build friendships after this, because then you would think everybody was out to get you. Everyone was out to blackmail you.
Especially someone that was that
or
close
they
to
all
her
could
circle.
blackmail me if I step out wrong and hurt them. They could really hurt me.
I would be really interested to know, like in politics, you have people that are fixers and they go through and they work in the shadows and they do unscrupulous things to fix things. And it's a sad part of it. But I'm real curious how that works in Hollywood, too. You've got the leakers, and you've got the managers and things like that. Like, when something leaks, do they go to people? Like, how do they leak things, kind of stuff? Like, who do they go to? Like, I wouldn't even know how to Google that. Like, who leaks stuff
the media,
for them?
right?
But who leaks it to the media? That's what I'm always curious about. Because, media does try to protect their sources. But then, somebody is that leak. And so do they have somebody else
an anonymous call
to do the dirty
or a
work
letter
for them so that they don't get their hands dirty? Exactly.
But you can cover some things up and make it anonymous. But it could be the person, that actual person is what I'm saying.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's do...
Anyways, it's a mess and I'm there for it.
Let's do birthdays because that's happy and I'm sad.
Oh, that made you sad?
I'm so sad right now for
Compared to
Taylor.
what you do?
I don't like anyone coming after Taylor.
Okay.
That makes me upset.
We've got a lot to go through because like Wally said, we won't be here next week.
Okay.
So we've got Ariana.
Nice. Happy birthday.
She wants to she wants to wish her little brother Judah a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Then we've got, wait a minute, are these from yesterday?
Uh-oh.
Those are from yesterday. So
Atta
sorry, got an extra one. Jeremy to
we
his
charge him
wife
for that?
Heather. No. Jeremy to his wife Heather said she wants to fly like a bird, a plane. No, Superwoman.
Nice. She probably is Superwoman.
She did a solo skydive on her 18th birthday. She also loves hot air balloons and would love to travel the world.
Adventurous.
Happy birthday, Heather. Nate wants to wish his mom a happy birthday. Said she is an amazing person who loves and cares for her family. She loves baking shows and recently won the Best Gluten-Free Cake Award for the state of California.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, that's impressive. I would like to taste that because I've only tasted like one or two gluten-free things that I thought were actually good.
Yeah, that's amazing. Caleb wants to wish his mom a happy birthday. Said recently she's had the travel bug. After missing Forrest Frank in concert, she spontaneously decided we need to travel halfway across the continent to see him this summer.
Oh, wow.
With a rolling eyes emoji. Sarah wants to wish her husband Chad a happy birthday. He's celebrating tomorrow. Chad is a kind, friendly, quiet guy. His optimism is both endearing and frustrating. He and I met online and connected over shared interests, including our love of the band Switchfoot.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I would like to point out that because everyone's like, oh, pessimist and you're negative. You're so negative and you're just so draining. People that are overly optimistic are equally draining.
Yeah.
Equally draining.
Yeah, there's toxic positivity.
Yes,
Which
exactly.
you laughed about.
No, but you're right. It exists. It totally
But you
exists.
laughed about it the first time we mentioned it.
I did?
Yes, we mentioned about it on the air because it came from the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni situation.
I don't remember laughing at
Blake
it.
Lively said that Justin Baldoni was his toxic positivity. She called it toxic positivity. He was too positive, and it was toxic.
Oh, that's funny.
And you laughed about
well,
it.
because that sounds crazy like that.
Oh, but you saying
her
it.
saying that like on a movie. But no, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe I am like Blake Lively.
Oh, married to Ryan.
Married to Ryan from Dare to Dream. No.
Moving on. Naomi to her brother Elias. Elias.
Yeah,
Elias. He joined his local fire department this year.
Nice.
And
That's
now
amazing.
that he is 15, he is waiting to go on his first call so
can
he
do
can be
that?
more of a first responder than Wally.
Nice. Good
Hey-o.
luck. Good luck, pal.
And then Aunt Lisa, not like Liza, she said, it said with a short I sound. I said it right. Lisa. Okay.
Or Alyssa.
Lissa.
Oh, Auntie Lisa.
Yeah.
Lissa. Wait.
That's confusing.
Auntie
How's it spelled?
Lissa.
How's it
Lissa
spelled?
would be short.
L-Y-S-S-A.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Lissa. That'd
Lissa.
be a short I.
Yeah.
For my niece Ivory, she's turning 1, but her mama listens. Happy birthday, Ivory.
Happy birthday, Ivory.
She's such a
Mom.
cutie, and I wish I lived closer to see her more often. Aw, but happy birthday anyway. Okay, we've got a question. This one is from,
It's from yesterday.
yes, I wanted to get to it. This is from John and Annette. They said, if
Johnette.
you were on an airplane and the pilots became incapacitated.
Oh, I've always dreamed of this.
Hear it out. Hear the question out fully.
Yes.
Out of the three of us, who would fly the plane?
Yep.
Who would talk to air traffic control?
Yep.
And who would calm the passengers?
Okay. In my opinion,
Fly the plane, talk to air traffic control, calm the passengers.
I would fly the plane.
Yeah.
Uh,
I would trust that.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Over us? Yeah.
I could make
I'm
it.
not taking over.
But
a
he's got to
plane.
listen. But he's got dyslexia.
Yeah, so somebody else is going to talk to air traffic control because I got a
can
lot of things
see
going
the
on. There are
runway.
beeps going on. There's a billion buttons. I've got to figure it out. I got to go back to my flying when I was younger, and so I would need somebody to talk to air traffic control. I think I would trust Gavin to talk to air traffic control in that situation. Once we got him calmed down and got him problem solving and got him to stop crying, I think that you would because you have a vested interest. Like you want to get home to see your son.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, I'm going to make sure I repeat everything exactly.
Oh.
And I think Betty would
He's
be
out there
good
slapping
at
people.
yelling people. Shut up! You calm down! Sit down! Like she'd get people in line, not calm. I think would be my take on
She'd
it.
have like possession of all the snacks.
Yeah.
In case she needed them if we went down and needed to ration food. She'd be in control of
Oh,
that.
yeah, she would.
You started your reign early.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
I
Do you
would
see it differently?
Yes, I would have me
No.
landing the plane.
No,
Yes, I would. And
You
then
do the least amount of driving out of all of us in this room.
Listen.
You travel the least.
listen, I'm the one that could focus
I
under
don't understand.
tough situations. Okay,
We're all dead now. Like
no,
that, we're not going to
because
make this.
Gavin wouldn't be able to
No.
do it.
Landing, flaps up or down?
Up.
Down.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't
What
matter.
should your
It
airspeed
doesn't
be?
matter.
What should
because
your
air
airspeed be?
traffic control
There's
is
no-
going to tell
When
me.
you were
Can I finish?
No.
I didn't interrupt you.
I know. When you were landing,
let me finish.
roughly what should your airspeed be when you're landing a big
2.
jet? No, not 2.
Anyway,
150 miles an hour.
But see, right there is your problem, okay? Because if you are landing the plane, you're going to think you know more than the traffic
That's
control,
kinda true.
okay? And so I trust the air traffic control. They've done this every day. You've watched Top Gun, and you call yourself
I
qualified.
can see them going like, Wally, we're going to need you to put those flaps at 40 degrees, and me going, 50 seems better.
Exactly.
It could also be like, there's the runway, Wally. You're like, I see a river over there. I think I got to go over
exactly.
Oh, land on the Hudson and be like Scully.
You would
Or
want.
Sully.
I gotta turn this
think
thing upside down.
you would become your own worst nightmare.
Maybe.
You would make the
Watch
situation
this.
worse than it actually needed to be.
Yeah, baby. But then I would solve it, and it
you
would be
wouldn't.
even better.
So here's what would happen. I am going to land the plane, okay?
I don't get this.
Gavin is going to be with air traffic control
So in
because
both
I
keys,
do
I
think
am.
that he can at least handle that. If anything, put it on speaker. Let's figure it out
least
together,
handle
okay?
that.
Now, Wally, you're going to be back there
Yeah.
comforting the passengers because I think
Yeah.
you could handle. You are a people person.
Sure.
You're an extrovert, and I think you would be able. And you like to help, and so I think you would be better suited for that area.
Okay,
and
and
I
it-
would lock the door
Probably.
so that you couldn't get in because I think you would try and get in. But
I
I
would.
can do it better.
I
This would be
would.
a great escape room.
Oh, that would be a good
That's
escape
the kind
room.
of thing when they put you in escape rooms, it's like, oh, well, have fun. You're in
Yeah.
this like immobile, you're in this, very stationary room. It would be insane if they put you in there and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, hey, guess what? The plane's going down.
I would love that.
And then the room, like tilted sideways.
Oh my
Also,
gosh.
being an amateur first responder, if anyone had a medical emergency, I could help out
That's
with
also
that.
true.
So
I
Totally.
would, again, altogether trust him more with all that.
Thank
than
you, Gavin.
us and
Okay.
the
You
other-
would? So
Yeah.
you would
Come
have
on.
him land the
No.
plane.
Yes.
We create this character that is Wally, and it's all like, ooh, he's crazy. But like he is the most
I
experienced.
didn't create nothing.
Oh,
I know
that's
exactly
fair.
what I'm talking about.
I don't
Because they
know.
would say, put the wings or whatever, put
Flaps.
the tail feathers
Yep,
at 40, and you'd be like 0.4 because
Yeah.
of your dyslexia.
Maybe. Yeah.
No, absolutely
That's why I need
not.
Gavin to like keep
Yeah,
me on
I'm a
pace.
co-pilot.
Gavin?
Yeah.
Well, the plane is crashing.
Yeah.
You put Gavin in
I
charge
did.
of
I
that?
did.
I can put in the right
Absolutely
info.
not. Absolutely not. I am right. You were wrong.
Okay, Gavin, where do you put you and where do you put Betty in
Oh,
this scenario?
I agreed with your overall.
Oh, so
take
you and I
for
are the
most
same.
Part.
Yeah.
If anything,
No.
maybe there's a world where I'm with the passengers because I'm a mellow, calming figure.
Yeah, that's
again,
true.
after I calm down. But like,
Because
you're-
Betty and I would have an argument about landing the plane, and so that would not help anybody.
Yeah,
maybe
I think
I need Betty
we
to
all
be-
three agree that Wally and I should not be in the.
okay, so
The
I'll
cockpit
be,
together?
No,
No,
absolutely
no.
I'll
not.
be with air traffic. I just like you when you play like racing games.
Yeah.
You do all these things.
Simulators. I could do it.
You're at least
No.
you're the closest
People's
person to
lives
that.
are
I
at
know.
stake.
And I know that I love the heightened danger of it.
See, that's what
If there's-
bothers
if
me
there's
too.
no stakes,
You're
it's not worth
saying
doing.
so many things
Yeah.
that are red flags.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
I
hearing
love
Top
the
Gun
heightened
music.
danger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crash into the Hudson because wouldn't it be exciting? Like all of these
Yeah.
are
Danger
terrible,
zone.
terrible ideas.
To some people, they're red flags. To other people, they're like, that guy's confident. You
You
want
know
a
what I'm
confident
gonna
pilot.
do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post this same question
Yeah.
in the potty group.
Okay. Oh,
and I'm
good
going to
idea.
see where we go from there.
Okay.
Okay. So if you haven't joined our potty group, just text the word potty, PODDIE, to 91979. We will send you a link so you can join. But I'm going to ask this question, and I think I'm going to find out.
If I
But
don't
I'm
come out,
right.
if I don't come out overwhelmingly as the pilot, I'm
Yeah.
shutting down the Aftercast.
I just don't
Oh,
think
just be done
See,
with it.
this is another red flag. The air traffic control is going to say, no, you need to land right here. And Wally would be like, no, if you don't let me land
Yeah.
and this, I can do it. Let me do it.
I'd rather go to JFK than Kennedy. I don't like
This
Kennedy.
is also literally someone who's I heard actively say, I don't care if the wing of the plane is hanging on by duct tape.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. I do. Yeah. When you're on a plane and we're ready to go, yes,
is thrown to the wind when it comes with Wally.
How frustrating
and
is it?
two, when Marty, your wife, is a nervous flyer, you calm her down.
Yeah.
See, you deserve to be calming down passengers.
How frustrating is it when you're on a plane and they're like,
"Do you want to land a plane?"
No.
Then don't.
But I would rather do it more than him.
I'd rather the person who thinks they can.
I could land that plane and land it perfectly, and like everyone would get off and be like, "Oh my gosh, dude, thank you. You saved our lives. I'm gonna go home to my family tonight. Thank you so much. You're a hero." Betty would just walk by me and go, could have done better.
I
even did like a space camp when I was young, and I did one of those little simulator land the plane.
Those are
fun.
I
didn't do it well, but like I don't know, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I fly a simulator at home, like so yeah, that's why. And
I'm still standing my ground.
I know, and I've actually flown in regular planes, and like, I've flown. I grew up flying with my dad, and so I know the concepts. And I've actually.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's better than what
I've taken off and landed with my dad before, and I got to have my hands on it, and he still was doing the work. But like because I was younger, but it's like I have some sort of experience enough with it to have that translate into a real world experience. I would never say, I could do it without anyone's help. Absolutely
air traffic's for.
Oh yeah, you'd have to tell me do this, and I would do all of it. But yeah,
no, we wouldn't.
I do most of it.
I always wonder because
right.
on a plane, on a flight, you've got pilot, you've got co-pilot,
and navigator.
So you have three. You have three people that hopefully, if things go terrible, they don't ever plant somebody in a plane, right? That's like, okay, we have our fourth backup option.
Oh yeah, no.
And you would think that'd be smart-ish, but I don't know. You never hear stories of all three men going down.
We get plans. Everyone's got them. We get plans. So Wally, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to save money on a flight.
Yeah, my wife.
And now he's got to be up at the crack of dawn to go to a water park.
Until you get on the plane.
I thought it was a joke when Marty told Betty to put in a reminder for me that I need to check in for my flight being on Southwest so I get a good boarding group at 5:30 a.m. That's not the time that you board. That is the time that you leave. That means you are getting up at 3 to get to the airport, get there. I'm like, what in the world were we thinking? She's like, well, we get there at 8:30 now, and you've got all day. And I'm like, but you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
And so I went to try to change my flight yesterday. I'm like, I'll change our flights for us because this is crazy. But it was like going to cost me another $400 to change flights now. So I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're just getting up early. Because normally, I don't mind getting up for like a 7 a.m. flight because it's about the same time I get up for work. I don't care about that. 5:30 is next level when you live almost an hour from the airport. I'm 40 minutes from the airport, and then you got to park and get in and security and stuff. It's like, oh, wife, you are killing me. I mean, like, this is like my day off.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to see my daughter in Florida and do some Disney time, which will be fun, and do that for a few days before we go to a conference that Betty and I are going to for work next week.
Mm-hmm. So today we're going to go see the Mission Impossible movie.
We are.
And I'm like at a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excited. I'm at a 3.
I bet you're going to come out of this and love
That's
it.
That's not too bad.
We should have watched like Cold Pursuit, that horrible Liam Neeson movie, and then gone and seen this because then you'd be like, thank you, Tom Cruise.
Or Wolfman movie.
That was horrible too.
That was bad.
So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to a friend's house later today, and she's going to cook for me, and we're going to celebrate our birthdays together.
Oh, cool.
Then tomorrow I'm going over to my mom and dad's, and mom is going to cook. And
everybody cooks
Sunday
for you.
is church.
Yeah,
I know, it's wonderful.
Everybody takes care of you.
And then
Gavin brought you
Monday we have
breakfast
the day
today?
off, but
The only
Monday
person that
I
got
am going to
food.
pack for my flight because I don't leave till Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we leave in the afternoon, like 1 o'clock.
I know,
blessings.
so nice. So yeah, you don't have to work anything like that on Tuesday. So that's good. Yeah, I messed that up. Well, the problem was too is that like I bought my ticket through the company, but then I had to pay for my wife's obviously, and so the tickets were expensive to go in the afternoon. And so I'm like, and I was trying to save the company money and save me money. And so I ended up booking.
Worth it?
Not now. No, at the time I was like, I'm a hero. Now I'm like, you are the village idiot. Like, there's no way I should be flying out at 5:30 in the morning. And on Southwest, who Betty keeps thinking I'm building a bridge because it hasn't happened yet. I bet you that they're going to charge me for my bag on the way back, because on the second half of our flight is when all their bag changes go into effect. And I bet you I go to check in, and I bet it's going to be like, check a bag. Of course I'll check a bag, like I've always done on Southwest. And then it'll be like, here's $30, you know.
That's
going to drive me
bummer
nuts.
Timing.
Yeah, it's going to drive me nuts.
Should not be the thing.
Now, Gavin, you're going to have time without us, frowny face, and you're going to cry, and you'll get over it. But what are you doing the weekend?
Weekend, we're just going to... Bennett's been sick like all week, so we're going to hopefully just chill it out tomorrow. And then I was hoping... There's like a splash pad in Kingston Springs, which is northwest or west of here. It's near Pegram, which is also west of Nashville. And we were going to go to that, but this whole weekend is just storms.
Again?
And it's like mid-70s, so it's not really warm. Go out, play in the, sun and water temperature.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen today is a good day. And it's still mid-70s.
But he's really, been sick, so you can't
really
take him now.
So I don't know if this weekend's going to have a lot of just pure activity, or if it's just going to be catch up on laundry, because you're never caught up on laundry. There's a million things that need to be spot cleaned, and then I get in trouble when I don't spot clean them because I'm just trying to get stuff done.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I don't know. It might be a very, very calm and relaxing weekend.
Yeah, and then you'll have an easy week next week, which is good, because that's always nice to get a break from us.
I know. I liked going to the conference last year.
So that was fun.
There's a little part of me that was like, bummer.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys have a blast and get so much industry experience out of it.
No, we're going because we're up for that podcast award. And it's the podcast award. They're like, it's supposed to be about like what we do here in the Aftercast, like a daily thing, radio thing. And they every year, like, they give it to these highly produced podcasts that they've spent a bunch of money on, and it's not a radio podcast. And so they keep changing what the narrative is or the criteria is. And so this will be the third year that we're up for it. And like I didn't even want to go this year, to be honest with you. I said I don't want to go. I was turning down the nomination, and then my bosses were like, "No, you can't turn it down. We want you we want it to be nominated, and we want you to be there." And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to deal with like a third year in a row of losing for no reason. Like our podcast has 10 times the numbers of any other radio Christian podcast, and that's thanks to you, potties. So you guys rule.
You guys are elite.
We have so many more subscribers and listeners and things like that, and yet it doesn't matter, And so I just I'm not excited about.
The only thing I was bummed about last year was that you had a great speech planned.
I don't even remember what it was.
It was going to be like, hey, just want to thank everyone for being here. Betty wasn't able to be here because she's.
What was it?
You were going to say something about like rehab.
Oh, that's right.
Something.
Oh, that's right.
I want you guys to all look.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were going to turn a camera to the audience.
Yeah, that's right.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Nuts.
Love it.
Yeah, I wish I had one for that one last year. I forgot about that. She's in rehab.
She's not able to be with us tonight.
Yeah.
Because she's in rehab.
Oh my gosh.
It was funny.
Okay.
Guess you had to be there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for the Aftercast for today and for next week. And as always, thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.